Hi guys, hope you're well. So today I'm just going to do a technique analysis on jerk. So I'm just using some of my training that I did the other day. So hopefully you can get quite a bit from this. I just want to share some of the points that I've sort of highlighted in my own training, but also some points that were sort of seeing in the gym, some common issues that seem to be quite apparent. So I just thought I'd put it all out there for you guys and hopefully you get something for it. So today, obviously I'm going to be covering a jerk set I did the other day. So this was 2 minutes with the 30s, and then it was 3 minutes with the 28s, and then it was 3 minutes with the 24s, then rest 1 minute, then 2 minutes with the 24s. But the main thing is want to just have a look a little bit at the technique. So first thing that I wanted to make sure that I'm doing in my own training is finishing off the movement. So what I mean by that is I want to make sure that I'm actually completing that movement in jerk. So I make sure that I'm extending fully from my legs and getting all of the drive, and then sending the kettlebells up above the head. What this does is it stops me relying on my shoulders. Now, I could do all of the squats in the world, build really strong legs, but if I'm actually not completing the movement, i.e. when I go to do my bump, when I extend, if I don't really make sure that I just triple extend, so make sure that I'm fully extended through my knees, ankles and hips, then I'm not going to be able to utilize all of that strength that I'm building in my legs, i.e. doing squats, etc, etc. But also it means that I'm sort of doing myself a disservice by not utilizing all of that. So that's the one thing that I was wanting to make sure that I'm doing in this session here, is actually making sure that I'm sending the kettlebell straight above the head. Another thing that I was keen to look at in this position as well is actually what's happening on the drop phase. So if I put a box around here, and if I try and put a box a little bit overhead here. So these are the two key areas that I look for when I'm doing jerk, because for me jerk is probably one of the most demanding, i.e. it takes a lot of energy. You have to have a high level of fitness to be able to sort of continually be able to do it, i.e. not as much as long cycle, but technically there's not a lot of room for error, because you are staying in one position for a long period of time. There's not a lot of room for, like I say, making the odd mistake here or being as inefficient as what you'd like to be, kind of things, you know. So you need to make sure that every single rep it's trying to nail it every single time. And the biggest thing that I see with some of my guys and myself is we're powerful in sending the kettlebells up, we're getting them above our heads, but it's actually the smaller parts of the movement that actually end up having a big impact further down the set. So that being said, what I'm looking at here is, as I drop from overhead, am I catching with the shoulders, and when I lift my heels up, am I taking my torso to the elbows, or have I got quite a bit of a big load going through my legs? So if we see it now, as we drop, there's quite a lot of load there, so I want to try and make sure that I am catching with my shoulders and using all of my body to absorb that weight, rather than having pretty much all of the weight just going straight in to my lower body. So I'm probably leaning back slightly too much there. But also what I've started to do in my training is lift the heels up when I come on to jerk, and I'm probably just doing that a little bit too soon. So this video isn't the best because you can't really see my feet too much, but you can kind of see it a little bit as I drop now. I'd lift that bit too early. So what that does is it causes me to miss some parts of my shoulders, a couple of inches of my shoulders, which if you think over a period of time and the repetitions that we're going to be doing, this is going to have quite a bit of an impact. So I really want to make sure that I'm utilizing all of my body to slow down that force, not in a controlled manner, just so I can gradually slow it down, so not 64 kgs or whatever it may be is just going all the way into my body, that full load. Because at the end of the day, we know that eccentric loading is generally more fatiguing on the body, but also if I'm just hitting one point with a lot of force rather than spreading the weight, that's going to cause me fatigue. But also in this position, if I'm in a position where, if I try and skip back a bit, if I get to a position here where I've really dropped the load into my hips forcefully over time, what can happen to make it a little bit easier for myself is I'll start to lean back a lot more. Now if I start to lean back too far, then what will happen is when I try and send this power from my legs, because I'm sort of leaning too far back, I'm not really going to be in a position where I can really extend through. I'm not going to be able to stay tall, because we've all seen it. I've done it myself many a time, specifically on cleans and stuff as well. But I've ended up sort of leaning quite far back to make rack position more comfortable. But by doing that, I'm not actually able to really utilize the leg drive that I've got from when I'm coming into an extension. So if you do find yourself leaning too far back, try and make sure that you are building strength more in an upright position, especially when you do go into the heavier weights, because the first thing that they want to do as soon as you go into a heavier weight, you'll want to lean further back to make it a little bit easier to really get into that rack position so it can just rest on the body. But then that being said, your body's going to be able to it's going to have to work twice as hard to actually send them above the head, so it's kind of a false economy. So you want to try and make sure that when you do transition to a heavier weight, you are still trying to stay fairly upright so you can really utilize the legs and sending them up. Because again, if you are leaning back quite far, sorry, wrong one here, let's just get rid of these. If you are leaning back quite far, so say if we are at this sort of angle, I know it's slightly exaggerated, but as the knees go forward, there's only going to be able to go so far in terms of the knee drive is going to be able to extend up. So we want to make sure that we're actually able to sort of stay quite tall so we can get a lot more power from our legs. Hopefully that helps. I've just had a really strong coffee, so that's why it probably sounds like I've been drinking. Hopefully not at 9:30 in the morning. Another thing that I was wanting to try and work on as well, and I'll skip further down my set, is obviously I'm on to the 24s here. One thing that I've been trying to get through to my guys is as soon as you land in second dip, those arms want to be fully locked out, and this is where your shoulders want to be packed. You want to be stabilizing through your lats, so there's not any continuation of the kettlebells going up. It's not great to see because of this light here, but what can sometimes happen is if we see people jerk, the kettlebells continue to go up and then they have quite a big bang on there. I want to try and get in a position where I'm trying to stabilize that weight as much as possible, quick as possible. As soon as I land, my arms want to be completely straight, so I don't want the bells to continue to be going up. So as soon as I've landed there, my arms are fully extended. I've already caught them, stabilized with the lats, and that was another thing that I was wanting to make sure that I'm doing there, to make sure that I'm being as efficient as possible. Okay, so just a few points that I just want to raise in this video here. So am I getting triple extension? Am I fully extended through the quads? Because sometimes when you do go back onto a heavier weight or transition up to a heavier weight, you can sort of make the arms take over, try and muscle it because you're not quite ready, or you don't trust your legs enough to send it up. So one thing that I want to make sure that I am fully extended through the legs, but also my timing in jerk and really taking a lot of the strain off the shoulders. So I've still got a little bit of work to do on overhead mobility, but the main thing for me is as soon as my heels are landing, them arms are completely straight. So overall, guys, hopefully you find that helpful. Hopefully I haven't confused you too much, because I've timed this wrong and had a ridiculously strong cup of espresso before I've done this, so I'm a bit jittery. But hopefully you find that helpful, guys. Any questions, you know, you can always reach out to me. And yeah, I look forward to doing some more videos like this very, very soon.